Today I want to give you an update on what we've been working on in DM Hub. So I've mentioned that we've been working on a trigger system, and I want to show you what that's all about. To start with, we have this cute little spider, and I'm going to start by adding some components to him. I'm going to add a video control component. This lets us manipulate the playback speed, which his video plays at, so we can get him to say stop completely. And then we can also add something to change his appearance. It's under display appearance, and I'm gonna make him a sort of more innocuous green-looking color. And so what we can add, the first really cool thing that I want to show you is that we've added a new keyframe component. And with a keyframe component, when you create one, it creates a way to reset the object. It stores a copy of the object, and you can reset it at any time to the state it was when you created it. And then what we can do is we can change some aspects of the object. So we're going to make him red again, and we're also going to scale him up and make him much larger. So we're going to make this large spider, and we're also going to make him start moving pretty fast. And so if we go to our keyframes, we can record a keyframe here, and we can call this like large and scary. And what we can do is at any time we can go to the default reset keyframe like this, and he becomes small and still, or we can make him large and scary like this. And you can see that this is really useful for having objects in multiple states, and you just transition between them, and you can control how long the animation takes, and the animation plays for everybody. So this is a really cool way to present to present things to your players, and they'll see it animating in real time in exactly the same speed as it does for you. So that itself is not our trigger system, but this is something that can interact with our trigger system. So keep in mind that that's an example of something we can do. But what I want to show you next is, let's say we have, I'm going to make this nice little light on the wall. And I'm going to make, you can see it has this little blue glow to it. I might make it have a bit less radius. I might make it a really small, innocuous looking light. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a lever which will activate the light. So we're going to have a lever right here. And what we can do now is we can go to our light, and we're going to also add, we'll add an appearance to this, and we're going to add our keyframe component, because like with the what we just showed with the spider, this light is going to be like an alarm. So by default it's blue, but when it gets alarmed, it can turn to maybe an angry red color. So what we want to do is we want to make an alarm, like an alert mode for it. And so we're going to make it this red. We're going to make it have an expanded radius. Probably we can even make it flicker a lot. So it can be nice and angry. And we'll make the appearance have a hue shift, so it appears more red like this. And so yeah, this looks like a nice angry alarm. And so now we've done this, we can record this as a keyframe, and we can call it our alert keyframe. And then, so we have our lever, and we want it so when the lever is pressed, it will alert the alarm. So let's restore this to its nice innocuous state. And what we can do is to expose something to our event system. Firstly, on the thing that gets triggered, the thing that gets triggered to our triggering system, we go into triggers, and we say that this has actions. So once we've added actions, it's asking us like, what actions do we want to expose to the trigger system? And all objects get default actions to make them visible and invisible. And then because we have this keyframe component, the keyframe component gives us all the keyframes. So we're going to expose the alert keyframe and the reset keyframe. And what we see is we get on this component, we get these little icons, which this is for alert and this is for reset. And this little icon means that this can like receive events. This has actions, it can receive events. And on our lever, it has a button, but to make it interact with the triggering system, we have to add an explicit trigger. And the trigger, similar to how the action component works, it like inspects the object and sees all the possible triggers. And the button gives it these triggers for being switched on and switched off. And you'll see that when I activate them, you get these little icons. One is for the switch off, one is for the switch on. And we want to link these things together. So we want to make it so when it's switched on, it goes to alert, and when it gets switched off, it goes to be turned off. And so then we can get our little goblin, and we can move over to the lever, and we can press it, and as you see, it becomes alert, and we click it again, and the opposite event happens. You'll see the little thing turns blue for a moment just to show us that that event was triggered. And of course, if we show with our tokens, just as the player would see, we don't see any of the wiring or anything. We just see exactly what a player sees here, and we can see it looks very, very cool. In addition to having buttons, something that we've added is the concept of pressure plates, which are similar to buttons, but you walk on them instead of having to click them. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to go outside, and we're going to add a pressure plate. And the way a pressure plate will work is we can choose if when somebody walks on it, whether it will halt their movement or not. And you can even filter targets. So you could, for instance, go like, you could make sure that the size of the creature is above a certain, like this is for 3 means medium, so you could make it so only medium creatures will trigger the pressure plate. Or you could make it so flying creatures don't trigger the pressure plate, which is probably sensible in most cases. And we call it a pressure plate because that's sort of what it logically is like, but really it could represent just an area that the player steps in and it makes something happen. So like with the button, we have to add the action. Sorry, not the action, the event, because this is, the trigger. So when somebody steps on the pressure plate and when somebody steps off the pressure plate, we'll set up both of these triggers. So this is the trigger that's fired when somebody steps on it, and this is when somebody steps off it. And then I've got this boat over here, and what we're going to do with the boat is we're going to give it a path. So we're going to make it sail to the shore. So I'm going to set a path on it, just like that. But I'm going to say that we won't repeat the path. We'll just do the path once. And so then, now that I've done that, I can we can trigger the path, and we can add a action. And so there's a thing here to start the path, and you'll see it has a little icon there to start the path. So now it's a matter of getting the pressure plate on event, and we are going to link that to this to start the path, and then we will have our goblin walk on the ship, and we can see our boat sailing into shore. So as you can see, that there's a lot of possibilities that are very exciting with triggers. This only shows sort of a really small proportion of the kind of things that will be possible, and I hope that you're excited to see it available in DM Hub soon.